Hello everyone, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts, and this is Prehistoric Facts special episode number 207. And let's actually get started, shall we, with this type of month that is Jurassic June. So we're going to talk about a dinosaur from the Jurassic period. And so the next special episode will be another uh, dinosaur or reptile from the Jurassic period. And so continue that theme for June. But anyway, let's actually get started for this type of Jurassic dinosaur, and that dinosaur is Supersaurus. And so here is an illustration of a possibility of what Supersaurus look like. I mean, the colors is kind of bland. I wish I could have done better colors for it anyway, but the spines, debatable if they had those types of spines, but still not too bad of an illustration. So some information about Supersaurus. The name Supersaurus means super lizard, of course. Very explainable. And the length is 108 to 115 feet or 33 to 35 meters. So this is a pretty long dinosaur. And the height is 19.7 feet or 6 meters, so pretty close to 20 feet in height. And its weight is 80,000 to 88,000 pounds. So this is a pretty heavy dinosaur, but not the heaviest dinosaur. And it lived 153 to 145 million years ago in the late Jurassic period, and fossils are found in Colorado and Wyoming in the United States, and was described by a paleontologist named Jensen in 1985. And so this dinosaur's been around for pretty close to pretty close to 40 years. So pretty close to 40 years. So that is a pretty good amount of time that this dinosaur is around in terms of the scientific community and paleontology. And so these pictures right here. So here's the map of the United States, and where you can see the two states that are highlighted in red. You can see that I highlighted in red. So the borders right here are the states of Wyoming above and Colorado below it. And so Wyoming is the state in yellow, and Colorado is the state in orange. And so that's where the fossils are found, and it's of course found in the very famous rock formation in the Jurassic period is the Morrison Formation. And so the Morrison Formation is well known for having some of the most iconic dinosaurs in the Jurassic period. All your different kinds of sauropods like Brachiosaurus, Diplodocus, Apatosaurus, Barosaurus. You even got also got the most iconic, probably the mascot of the Jurassic, and that is Stegosaurus. And of course, you got Allosaurus, Torvosaurus, Ceratosaurus, Saurophaganax. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of all the dinosaurs that are found in the Morrison Formation. So you actually have a lot of dinosaurs that are found in the Morrison Formation, and Supersaurus is one of them. And on the top right here, you actually see this size chart of Supersaurus. You can see it's pretty long and pretty big compared to a human female, so a woman, compared to Supersaurus. So this is a pretty large animal. A lot of sauropods in the Morrison Formation are pretty big, and so you can get the idea there. And below on the bottom right, you see the types of specimens of Supersaurus here. And so this one is from the University of Wyoming, and then on the top, and then the bottom one is from BYU. And so those types of specimens, you can see they're not fully complete. So both of these specimens do not have a skull, but they can make a prediction basically based off of like other diplodocids, because it looks like a lot like Diplodocus. And so they actually found they found a few neck vertebrae, got a few other back vertebrae, some vertebrae of the tail. You've got a complete hip on the larger specimen, and of course a shoulder blade. And there's a couple of limb bones, a few ribs on the one that is the holotype specimen. And so, yeah, you actually have a lot. You still have a good amount of bones here. So on the range of, say, of pretty close to 50% complete for the top one less than 50% for the bottom one. So not a wide range of specimens of Supersaurus, but there's still finding some. There is possibility of a larger specimen that could be at length of 128 feet. That is, or 128 feet. That is pretty long, considered to be one of the longest dinosaurs to have ever existed, which is pretty remarkable. More information about Supersaurus. It belongs to the Sauropoda group of dinosaurs. So the sauropods, and those are nicknamed the long neck dinosaurs. So it is part of the iconic group of dinosaurs, the sauropods, and it belongs to the group of sauropods called Diplodocidae. And so it belongs to the same type of family group that is with, like, say, Diplodocus, Brontosaurus, Apatosaurus, those types of dinosaurs. And so it belongs to that type of group of dinosaurs, even along with Borosaurus. And some typical features of a Supersaurus that are like all other diplodocids. It's got a long neck and small head, very thin needle-like teeth. Uh, It has a long whip-like tail, and of course, it's a herbivore. And the teeth are actually in the front of the skull and jaws, and so they'd be stripping vegetation from the branches. Or mostly, they'll be eating a lot of soft ferns and some leaves from like smaller trees. And the environment in that Supersource lived in was warm, humid, and somewhat dry. There would have been wet and dry seasons. There would have been trees, ferns, cycads, and the very first flowers. Considering that there has been a fossil discovery not too long ago that some flower fossils have been found that show that flowers were around a lot earlier than what scientists previously thought. And so some of the first flowers began in the Jurassic, which is pretty cool. And of course, there was no grass during the time of the dinosaurs. And there would have been plenty of rivers, lakes, and ponds, and other types of animals that were around: insects, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, pterosaurs, and of course, other types of dinosaurs. And you can include the avian dinosaurs, some birds in that regard. And Supersaurus does have predators, and so the types of predators that would be going after Supersaurus, mostly the juveniles, would have been Allosaurus. Allosaurus was very common in the Late Jurassic period in North America. They're the most common predator in the fossil record in the Morrison Formation. And so Allosaurus would have been one of those predators. Torvosaurus would have been one of those predators as well, a little bit bigger than Allosaurus. And of course, Saurophaganax, the largest predatory dinosaur in the Jurassic period in the Morrison Formation in North America. And so, yeah, those were the top dogs, so to speak, and they would have been the ones going after Supersaurus, but mainly the juveniles. The adults were way too big for these predators to go after, because if you're a full-grown adult, size is really your number one defense for a sauropod. Size is the number one defense. Uh, the secondary defense for Supersaurus would have been the tail, and of course its weight. And so that would have been those types of defenses for against these types of predators. But those would have been the three predators that Supersaurus would have entangled with. The extinction of Supersaurus was mostly due to climate change, and so 145 million years ago. So that's when it started to go towards the Cretaceous period. So the beginning of the Cretaceous period. So around that kind of time, temperatures slightly dipped, slightly dropped, and of course the plants changed and the flowers started to dominate, and that's where you start to see a decline in the sauropods in the early Cretaceous. That's because flowering plants were starting to be a lot more dominant at that point in time in the Cretaceous, and of course new predators were coming around. This is like some you got some like proto Carcharodontosaurids, even some allosaurids that would have still been around at that point in time. And so, yeah, there would have been those types of predators that were happening, that were still around at that point in the early Cretaceous. And here's a map of the world during the late Jurassic period, around 152 million years ago. So this would have been in Supersaurus's prime. And so you can see here, I'll highlight here. So around this type of area right there in North America is where you're going to find Supersaurus and a lot of the iconic dinosaurs from the Jurassic period. And so North America was right there, and of course you got Gondwana, the giant southern continent, right there. That includes South America, Africa, India, Antarctica, and Australia. Whereas you got mostly Asia, Europe, and North America for Laurasia. In North America, part of Laurasia is where Supersaurus lived in. The next episode will be on June 8th, 2023, and there'll be a Q&A episode. So if you got any questions about dinosaurs and other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinochrist71@gmail.com, or just go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts of Dinochrist. Like the page, you should post your questions in the comment section. Please put them in the comment section. Don't put them on Messenger. Messengers are private conversations. So please put your questions in the comment section. And for you YouTubers out there, like the videos, subscribe to the channel. Of course, according to my analytics, a lot of you guys are checking out my channel and not subscribed yet, and so feel free to hit that subscribe button. And how the YouTube algorithm works now. So if you give these videos a like, hit that like button. It gets the video spread out to people that are interested in dinosaurs, paleontology, geology in general, to more people out there to check out these videos, and also hit that notification bell so that way you can get weekly updates of every video that comes out weekly. And also for you YouTubers out there, feel free to leave your questions in the comment section because I do read them all. Your questions do mean a lot. So everybody that gives me questions through email, Facebook, and YouTube, you guys are giving me some great questions on the Q&A episodes, and it means a lot for those Q&A episodes. And you guys are awesome for giving me some great questions to answer. And also make sure you keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Instagram at dino.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSGRAIL. That's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there as well. Also, take care of the people around you. And also for younger people out there, to listen, your parents and teachers and your guardians, it's the best motivation you can have for a good education. It's very important to have a good education. So with a good education, you get a good job in the future. That's it for now. And I'll see you guys next time.